Well, hello, everybody, and welcome to a very special episode. It's episode number 24 of The Companion to the Companion, as Sam Ostro and I, Ian Rotondi, go through the Phish Companion's top 100 shows. We discuss, we analyze, we get down. Let's do this. Number 24, my lucky number, 11/12/1994. Kent State.
They said we wouldn't get here. They said we wouldn't get here. Here we are. All of them said.
They were wrong. And actually, I feel like I'm just picking up steam. I just feel like the physics is getting behind me, and then we're cruising easier than ever. The Mack Center at Kent State University, Kent, Ohio. Like I said, we're well into fall '94, which is a very special time in the Phish world, and this show is no exception. So, Sam, how are you doing tonight? Welcome.
I'm doing great. I'm glad to see you. I'm glad you're in a good mood, and I'm glad we're talking fall '94 Phish. This is like I don't know. You keep hearing all these. Is this the best week of Phish? Is this the magical tour? And then I keep listening to more Phish as we go through this, and realizing maybe fall '94 is the best tour. I can't tell. It's sort of split into two parts, and this is the beginning of part two.
Yeah.
And it seems like there's just not a bad show in this part two. So I'm excited to go through these next few episodes. And this was a show that I had kind of forgotten about until it was re-released a couple years ago, officially released, I should say. I know there was some filler for a while that was on another live release from 12/1/94, but this finally was officially done, and it's awesome. It's, I love to do the venue background, but this was their only time there. It was just under 6,000. It was like a classic indoor basketball arena. And it is absolutely exploding with energy. The crowd loud, everyone's loud. You really feel the room in this recording. I don't know, something about it.
Mm-hmm. You're right.
But I felt in the room. Some recordings are just, you feel absent from it. But I was there. It was really nice. And I loved this show.
Me too. Yeah, it was a great show.
Top to bottom.
And yeah, it's kind of funny enough on Phish Online today, the question of the day is, if you could have a time machine and go back and see 3 years of Phish, consecutive years in a row, what would they be? And I feel like it was a pretty even split between 93, 94, 95 for us kind of older guys, and then the 97, 98, 99 for like the other. Those were the two most popular stretches, I feel like. And then of course you got your outliers that are like 87 to 90, and I appreciate those guys. But
yeah, that sounds, those guys or gals are troopers. They're really going for it. I appreciate that.
But I think 93, 4, 5 would be my answer. Mostly because I saw so much in 97, 98, 99. I don't have to have FOMO about it. Perhaps my answer would be different if I hadn't seen any shows. But in general, I feel like I tend to lean towards these super intense, these shows that kind of skirt the line between incredible intensity and, gorgeous beauty. And I feel like they kind of can do both of those things back then. Not a lot of funk, but certainly those two things in spades.
Yeah, they're still learning how to improvise, I think, especially in a big room. And there aren't giant jams in this, but everything that is pushing into improvisational territory is just unique and different and weird. There's so much darkness on this tour.
Right.
There's so much evil energy. There's like, maybe it was shaking off that moniker of we're getting compared to the Grateful Dead. This is evil metal Phish at times.
Right.
And I'm not sure, but I really find this show, but fall '94 in general, just really endearing. So maybe I would do 92, 93, 94 if it was my 3 years.
Ooh.
92 just seemed like a real interesting time that I would like to spend more time listening to shows in. I don't know.
Sure. Yeah.
I don't know.
It would have been certainly a super fun time and like really intimate time to be touring with the band.
Yeah. Like tiny clubs all the way through 94 where they're playing arenas, it'd be fun.
Yeah. And speaking of like greatest tours, we both like to take on these projects of like, well, if I could choose like 3 of these or 5 of these or whatever, I always thought like 3 show runs I'm not committing to this, but I do think 1029, 1031, and 11/2 94 is a hell of a 3-show run. And I also think that the 11/28, 12/1, 12/2 is a super crazy run of shows as well. If only because you get the juxtaposition of like the huge tweezer in 11/28, like a slightly more fine-tuned tweezer, but just an amazing show all around on 12/1, and then you get the giant country horns on 12/2. That'd have been like a slam 1, 2, 3, really amazing. Just wish listing. I suppose we can actually get to the podcast.
Right? Is there an 11:30 in there too? Isn't 11:30 an incredible show?
Is there an 11:30?
Maybe.
Did I skip a show? Probably.
That week is special though. I'm with you. It's like I like to look at it as a week, and they talk about the special weeks of Phish. That was
Yeah, totally. Okay, so 11, 12, 94.
Let's get into it.
Let's do this.
Yeah, let's dig into our little basketball arena at Kent State in Ohio, and it's dark and it's loud and people are rowdy, and they open the classic Jim Foam.
Right.
I right off the bat, I wrote that this is the Johnny B. Fishman Orchestra, and I'll keep talking about that all the way through the show. He was on fire.
Yeah.
And I hear those stories where they talk about how, Fishman later in 96, 7 started really laying into solid grooves, but at this point was changing how he played every song a little bit every night. And there is a frenetic energy. They don't drop the beat, but there are some weird little slips in this show just because he is everywhere on the kit and in a soloing over sections that are just wild rides. Impressive drumming.
Yeah, two things about that I want to say. Let me just backtrack real quick because you're right. How did I not mention 11/30/94, which is a favorite show of mine, probably my favorite Down with Disease. And yes, of course, 11/28, 11/30, 12/1. Let's go 4, add 12/2. So yes.
Yeah.
What am I, stoned?
That'd be the run.
Okay. And then to the point of the drumming, I wrote this note here, which I feel like this is a note for the whole show. But I think like New Year's 95 is a show of incredible improvisation. But in New Year's 95, there's like a sense of intent. Like when they're in the middle of the jam, you get the sense that they know where the jam is going, that they're in control of the jam. And you're like beholden to them showing you this jam. This show, 11/12, it feels like all of us are in the jam together. Like us and the band does not seem like they know where they're going.
No.
They see... but
in the best way.
Yeah, it's incredible. Yeah, and I think Fishman's drumming is like a perfect example of that, where it is really frenetic and it's all over the place, but it's so exciting because you're like, I'm in the middle of this organic music improvisational happening, and it goes through the whole show, and it really is an incredible vibe. Very unique.
Yeah, just a train, one wheel on the track at times. Like you're not sure if you're going to make that curve, and then somehow it slams back on, and you're moving ahead again. It's in the weirdest songs too. It's like, even just in this Runaway Jim, the feel, the sound, it was great.
Yeah.
And then the Runaway Jim goes really smoothly into the first of the couple of headphones from this show, Foam. And
Right.
I can't remember when we talked best foams if we talked about this one, but it was great. It was really,
Yeah.
really great.
Yeah, it was.
It wasn't overplayed, which I feel like sometimes foam can go over the top. This one was just expertly done. I enjoyed it. And I worry, like the Runaway Gym was so big and the room was so big, and we've talked about shows kind of failing because the energy gets too big and the band has a hard time controlling it.
Mm-hmm.
But here, this foam doesn't go over the top, and then they drop If I Could. Like, it was a really
Right.
nice way to keep the energy under control and manage the just the chaos in the room. It was very mature.
It was. And
Yeah.
and I know all you listeners can't see the set list offhand, but this set list is chock full of tough compositions. It's almost
Mhm.
like they were kind of like, we're going to do a tough composition night. And they really do a great job with it. And
Yeah.
but they don't hold themselves to playing everything perfectly. They're like, we're going to do the tough compositions, but we're going to get a little experimental with it. And,
Yeah.
I don't have a whole lot to say about this whole Jim Foam, If I Could, Maze, Gaiuti stash run, because what I have to say is that it's flawless, it's adventurous, it's joyful,
Yeah.
it's wide ranging in dynamics.
Yeah.
It really, like, my emotions went on like a roller coaster ride, and yeah, I mean, anyway, so we'll talk about it individually, but I really just think this whole front side of the show is kind
Yeah.
of incredible.
Loaded.
Yeah.
Yeah. The Maze was where Fishman really started to jump out. And
Yeah.
like you said, the perfect example are the solos in Maze. They're just, both of them, Trey and Paige's solos, are just very different and unique. And they're breaking ground and they don't know where they're going. The Gaiuti, again, compositionally isn't yet where it ends up. Like, it still feels a little raw and new because it was,
Yeah.
but just gorgeous. Like you said, the amount of dexterous written material between Runaway Jim and Stash is just crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy music. And
Yeah.
very different from where they were, when we were even talking, like, you go back to 92. Like, just 2 years before this, a very different band at this point.
Right.
Yeah, great music. Big fan. And then it does get to the stash, which, this week this episode we decided to, we usually pick a song and have our 3 of just standout performances of it, ones we love, maybe outliers that aren't going to make the 100. But this one was, we kind of had a hard time. I was talking Down with Disease sandwiches. That was kind of a difficult thing to accomplish because there's only a couple. And we kind of landed on, what if we just went through the fall 94 stashes and we picked 3 of our favorites? Because it was played, I looked, 17 times in the fall of 94.
Yeah.
Every single one is mid first set. There's none in the second set. There's no opening closings. So they all fall in the same place. And 7 of them make the jam charts, which is pretty impressive for, almost half of the times they played a song. It is, lauded as something you should go back and listen to.
Yeah.
Especially something mid first set. So it just shows the strength of this song at this time.
Yeah.
So we listened to a lot of stashes, and I, at the end of the day when I went through it, if I was to pick my 3 favorite from the fall, the one from this show makes the list.
Yeah.
For me.
Yeah.
It was, again, dark, psychedelic, very cool. There's a point like about I wrote 8:40-ish, where you can't tell what the instruments are anymore.
Yeah.
which I think is really unique to this period of Phish, where it was like, Trey and Page are playing such, distorted notes, where it was really just dark and strange. And then it almost shifts major, which was very cool. And then the very end of this stash, I think, is what cements it for me, like around 12 minutes, where it just falls apart, then almost has a vocal jam to it. Like the ending really like solidified it as one of my favorites of the fall that I listened to. It was great.
Yeah, my note here was, holy shit, that ending, and that's even before the vocal jam.
Yeah.
So had a tremendous ending. And you're right. I think as I listen to a lot of these stashes, I realize, man, having a soundboard really makes a difference with the song. So I feel like that, may have pushed it over the edge, but Stash was like too big. Like as I was like going through these fall 94 ones, I was like, I'm so glad we didn't do Stash in general, because that would have been nearly impossible.
Oh yeah, that's too big.
Yeah, that's
too much.
Too common of a song. But I do want to say, just for my three choices before we get into it here, I do have one from Summer, because Sam and I decided that over the next few episodes we're going to reconstruct our own live one. So we'll do our own dream version of Live Run with our favorite versions. And so we're starting with the stash. Phish's stash is from Summer, and everything else is from Fall. So I didn't know, we didn't discuss it, Sam, but I didn't know if that opens the door for us to do a Summer stash, because Phish did it.
Yeah, let's do Summer and Fall. Okay. We'll take both tours.
Okay.
I honestly didn't. My three favorite stashes from the fall, I don't think would replace the one from Great Woods that's on a live one.
Sure.
At the end of the day, for me, a live one may end up a bunch of the songs staying where they are.
Yeah, I agree with you. Yeah.
The next show we do it's going to suffer a lot from it's 11/16, which is my second stash on my 3 list.
Right.
It's incredible. We'll get into it a lot in the next show, but that episode 25 is going to suffer a bit because the recordings out there are not great.
Yeah.
And I believe that Shock Dust Torture from a live one is in that show.
Correct.
So that's,
okay.
We're going to have some little spots where we overlap, but it's going to be fun.
Okay.
But my second stash is that one too.
Okay. Well, that's my second one too.
Good.
So, yeah.
So we're on the same. Yeah. We're 1 and 2.
I think that might have been my favorite stash that I listened to on this project.
Yes.
I think that was the one that I was like, whoa.
It was really, really great. And it does get headphones in that show. And so I feel like, we can dive deeper into that when next we speak. Right. But I also really, really enjoyed the 1210 stash, which was my third.
Oh, yeah, the Santa Monica. That was great. Yeah.
Yeah, it's very rhythmic and cool at the beginning. Mm-hmm. I feel like a lot of the stashes had a similar beginning to the jam and then kind of moved into an improv territory the same way. But that one was really, really different. And then like there was like 3 minutes in a row there that were just like different than all the rest, I thought.
Right.
Like 6 to 9 minutes in that stash was just really unique and different. And I loved it.
I really enjoyed that one too. That was
Yeah.
runner up. I'll go to contrast you. I'll go 11/20/94 Madison, Wisconsin.
Yeah, that one was
Um,
good too.
yeah, really enjoyed that. Just kind of like a solid, super intense build. Didn't get too weird or anything, but kind of in the same way that I love a nice straight up antelope. I really like that stash.
Yeah, I mean, think about being on this leg of this tour, and just every stash you see is this good.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
I remember being on a tour, and you're kind of seeing a song, 4 or 5 times. And you're like, yeah, it's either a big heavy hitter, like you see 4 tweezers, and they're all totally unique and different. But stash stays within sort of the same ballpark. They're just
Yeah.
powerful and unique every time.
Yeah.
They're painting with similar brushes, but they're creating different compositions. It's great.
Yeah.
Similar colors, similar brushes, really different outcomes.
Stash.
This live one project's going to be a big one. We might need to do a separate mini-sode just on that.
I want to leave some of this stuff on there, and I also want to make some bold decisions too. We'll see how it works out. All right, so what's your third stash then?
It's
this one.
It's,
okay.
It's 11/16, and then it's 12/10.
Okay, so my outlier is going to be a summer '94 stash, and it is 6/16/94, Minneapolis, Minnesota. And it's great. I highly recommend it. I think the thing about this one is if I imagine that this stash music was like a person, I'd be like, oh, you're so annoying and obnoxious. But as music, I think it really works. And it's like a super bold, like thrashing kind of version. And I thought it was really fun. Like of all the stashes I listened to, this one put like kind of like a smile on my face, being like, oh, that would have been really fun to see that.
Yeah.
Not just to see it, but to like look around and to see other people seeing it.
Yeah.
So I remember when we saw that stash in Vegas '97 that was like super extended and like really dark and weird.
Oh, that was great.
And just like looking around, there were just like people just like, oh, this is fucking me up. What is happening right now?
That show really gets underrated too because of where it fell. And, that was the beginning of the mega tour, but that show was great.
Sure.
I remember that was the first Black Eyed Katie on American soil, which was really, really cool. Everyone thought it was, what was it? People were thinking, because no one knew what it was, that it was a slowed down version of a Frank Zappa cover or something. Right. Wasn't that the discussion?
Totally. I used to love all those guesses as to what it was. Yeah.
Pre-internet, man.
And Trey truly destroyed the hydrogen in a hilarious way. I remember like guffawing out loud.
Yeah.
It was so horrible.
Just made a joke out of it. Yep.
And then the great Weekapaw, the super speed Weekapaw.
Oh, and Paige's work in that Weekapaw. It was a fun time. I had a good time. Vegas does me right.
Well, we knocked those stashes out pretty quick. We're flying through this episode. We'll have to go on a tangent later, everyone. Don't worry.
We'll get to the disease and we'll spend some time there.
Okay. So we're finishing up the first set, coming out of the stash with the amazing ending into Esther. Again, another super complicated composition. And I think I loved listening to it. I always love hearing an Esther, especially then, because they're really paying attention to the music and making sure all that is right. And it's not just a sort of nostalgia gig, so to speak. how it's been for a long time. So back then, I feel like
Yeah.
Esther was still pretty special. It was a little flubby. I feel like it was like just a couple flubs, but enough to be like, well, it's not a perfect version, but still very good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then the flow of the set works. And then
Absolutely.
a nice, both sets are concise and just this perfect tight closer with just ripping chalk dust. And,
Yeah.
I don't know how many times I wrote Fishman with an exclamation point and underlined, but that was this one again.
Mm-hmm.
Jesus. Like there's times in the solo where
Fishman and Mike exclamation point.
Yeah. Like there's these rhythmic matching, like, bah, 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 bah. Yeah. What? Like it's rhythmic telepathy. It's just beautiful stuff. And like fireworks, they're just taking risks like within the beat. And yeah, it's great. I feel like this was the beginning where, a lot of times it was Trey's band and Machine Gun Trey and like he's pushing out there. But this show, and in fall 94, I think the reason why the band takes such a big step forward in their improvising is that Trey's starting to do these big washes of sound. He's stepping back occasionally, and the rest of the band is really stepping up, and especially, Mike and Fishman's connection. And this chalk dust is great.
Yeah. Yeah. Great closer to a phenomenal set. So,
yeah.
All right. Kudos.
And then basically
boys.
a perfect set too as well.
Yeah.
Quick break and right back at it with Julius.
Right. And again, like all the other 94 Juliuses, not necessarily a standout, but a standout of just rock and roll explosion, I suppose. Just pure...
almost bigger energy than set one opening.
Yeah, like just pure blues.
People are fired up.
Absolutely. Great opener. I love Julius as an opener or a closer. Works. It's kind of like the Aloha of songs for me.
Yeah. I mean, there's arenas I've seen. I like that. There's arenas I've seen shows in, and maybe that's what put me in this, where the set one is just so hot and so well played that set break flies by, and when they come out for set two, you are just out of your skin excited. And I think, putting myself in this room was really exciting. And the Julius was perfect to open.
Yeah.
And that really, like all the 94 Phish heavy hitters, like Julius is in there, and Sample and Jar is in there, and there's like those, all the hoists, like, Down with Disease starts to show itself. Life Boy's there. Really well executed hoist songs that are starting to come into their own.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
So
and
next
then
into Fluff.
More composition. Yeah.
Yep. Like Esther, a touch sloppy, I thought. But still, Fluff head in the 2 spot, not complaining. But again, I have this quirk where like songs like Esther and like Fluffhead being perfect is kind of part of the deal. It's like, I think that's the ultimate Fluff, is like one that has a lot of energy, a unique type of big energy build at the end, and is also perfectly played. And to me, that's what makes the next level ones. So I don't know. What was your take on this guy?
Yeah, I felt good. There was a couple little moments, but I've never sickened or tired of The Arrival.
Oh no.
And this one was stellar.
Yeah.
They fight through all that composition to just kind of release at the end. And it was really well done. It was great. keeps the rockin' energy going, and then moves into the next headphone of the night. Well, I guess it's kind of a, if you take all these three pieces of this song and you link it together as one, which I believe it is, Down with Disease, which was the jam vehicle of the night. It still wasn't super long, especially, Fall 94 has some of the most massive length Phish jams that have ever been played. This one was tight and concise, but also has so much happening in such a short time.
No question. I think it's hard to argue that this Down with Disease Have Mercy, Down with Disease sandwich is, to quote the Squid and the Whale, it's the fillet of the show. It's definitely that's what it is.
Chateaubriand.
It is great. I remember you telling me last week, like, you're gonna love it. It really is great, and it was. I thought just great, high energy, good times composition, and then about 9 minutes, just kind of page just taken off. Just kind of like really pulling me into the jam, and then Fishman at 12:30 is kind of like brings it back home, and kind of like mellows out into the Have Mercy. And the Have Mercy, it was perfect. It was a perfect Have Mercy, and I think that's one of those songs that we've talked about that kind of skirts the line between, I guess, white reggae, if you will, spiritual music. I don't know. It can be a little cheesy.
This was This had less cheese. It was very it was gently done, and it's such a rare song and seems to come up at random times, and special times. Yeah. And after the chaos before it, this just must have felt like, you're in those indoor shows where it's hot and sweaty and the music's really wild. This was just raining cold water on everybody, like in a beautiful way. We know as fans of the band what song it was, but I would beg the question that very few in that room knew.
Oh yeah.
And just having those rhythmic, like the reggae beat and the gentle kind of plinking Page and Trey, must have felt so good.
Yeah.
Like that whole beginning before they start singing it was magic.
Yeah, it had a really nice spaciousness, a psychedelicness to it, in the transition, the beginning of the Have Mercy.
Yeah, there was only a handful of them, and then the jam out kind of felt like almost more mature Phish.
Yeah.
If I played that for you, I wrote this could be 95, 6, 7, like it was really different.
Right.
Really broke up what is on both sides a pretty scary Down with Disease. Pretty dark, pretty evil, and there's this beautiful little piece of major melody dropped in the middle.
Mm-hmm.
I wrote when they come out of this Have Mercy, I was scared.
Yeah.
I was listening just like there were so many emotions and such raw music, and it was so spooky and heavy, and we haven't heard the band play like this before.
Yeah.
In this, in our 23 episodes prior to this.
Right.
It was really different music. It was, I think at one point I wrote Trey goes full devil. Once it starts to go back to it, they try to weave it back into Down with Disease to finish it.
Yeah.
And then Trey just abandons and just smash. It's like he takes a sledgehammer and just smashes the whole thing to pieces. It was so wild. Like the back end of this Down with Disease really left me, broken. It was really impressive.
Yeah, I thought it was a really it was an unexpected exploration. I feel like usually when they do something like this, they don't explore again. They just kind of like sum up the sandwich. But you're right.
Put a ribbon on that package and walk away.
Yeah, he really did just be, no, we gotta just explore for a couple more minutes.
Yeah.
And it was really cool. And I loved, again, the cool descending, finish. Which I thought was spectacular as well. And I always love to hear a 94. So yeah, that was.
Yeah, I mean, out of context,
really section there.
It could sound like the band's really falling apart and failing, but if you're focused and listening, it's actually really just totally unique and cool. I liked it a lot.
Yeah, well, that's what kind of meant about my first comment, is that you feel like you're along the ride with the improvisation with them. You don't feel a sense of confidence that they're going to pull it off. You sense a feel of like, I might fall off this roller coaster. I'm not sure what's going to happen, but they do pull it off, and I think that's why it's totally exhilarating. Yeah, it's
not background music, no.
Yeah, this is not a show that I thought, this would be a good beginner show, because a lot of these 94 shows are, Sugar Bush, I think is a great beginner show. But this one is definitely like, I think this is a pro show here.
Yeah. It was the more you put in, the more you get out of it,
Yeah. And we didn't get to it before, but I loved the bounce of Gaiuti, like in the first set. I mean, I know I had kind of mentioned I loved the whole first set, but God, those early Gaiutis are they're so great. So great.
Yeah. Yeah, the band, you can tell, is still proud of it. They're still working it out live, but they're proud of it.
As they should be. Just incredible composition, Gaiuti.
Was that the last great composition? That's a long conversation.
I don't know if we want to open those floodgates, but
yep.
to me, maybe. I mean, I don't know. I think
Petrichor? You're not going to go Petrichor? I'll stop. I'm being mean. All right. So the Down with Disease falls apart. Does not properly reprise itself.
Right.
Exactly. And then goes into another just gorgeous Lifeboy.
Right.
Fall 94 post Scary Jam, workhorse. And it was beautiful melody. Yeah. Really nice.
Yeah, solid version. I mean, Lifeboy is so strong at this point. It's just like we've heard several Lifeboys and we're like, it's just like, it was great. And this one's no different.
And then I thought putting Rift in this spot was a really weird placement. I was reading through the set list.
Yep.
And as I was listening to the show and they started Rift, I thought, are they trying to bring this down? Are they like, what's the point with, like, it's just a weird place for it. But then they play Rift.
Yeah.
And they slay it. Like, again, composition, tight, fiery.
Yeah.
It's fast. It's, I was shocked by how good it was and actually how well it worked.
Yeah, it was very solid, yeah.
And the solos were great, and the crowd is still on board. I think probably a little damaged after Down with Disease, and then the Lifeboy, and then to Rift. They're like, whew, thank God,
Right.
And then we've talked endlessly about fourth quarter, like what happens in a fourth quarter of a Phish show. And I think we've also mentioned a lot of times that that the Fishman numbers can kind of bring us down.
Mm-hmm.
Not all the time.
Yeah.
Some comedy or like Big Ball Jam, Cracklin' Rosie. Like, do I like re-listening? Do I need to do this?
Right.
But this tour begins all of this acoustic stuff.
Right.
You know, the next show, the Reverend Jeff Mosier jumps on tour for 5 shows with them.
Right.
And so they're playing a lot of bluegrass. And this 3-song bluegrass run, I wasn't sure how I was going to enjoy it. And I really, really, really loved it.
Yeah.
It was perfect. Perfect for the show. Showcases a whole nother side to the band. Yeah, what do you think?
Incredible. Yeah, I've always thought, like, I love these fall 94 bluegrass country acoustic little sections. I think they're so charming. I love the vocals. It's funny, you know, sometimes Phish, the vocals can be troublesome in Phish, but in these particular performances, I love the vocals. I just love the way they sing these songs. And it's wonderful. Yeah, I mean, I love the acoustic stuff. And then so we have Old Home Place into Nellie Kane, you know, both songs that they play every now and then, and both great. And then they go into Foreplay Long Time, doing a little Boston cover here, and they do it awesome. Acoustic, you know, and then kind of like a cross between acoustic and vocal. Yeah. And it's just, I don't know another word than, I mean, it's the best. It's just the best.
I just wrote, fuck yes. Yeah, this hits all the marks.
Yeah,
so
I don't think it could be any better. Like, I don't know that any performance of music could make me happier than that.
And the crowd was there for the whole thing.
Yeah.
And like hearing Mike, you know, he's not the world's greatest banjo player, but he's out there doing his thing. He's crushing. And, you know, Fishman on mandolin for A Home Place and Nellie Kane, and then on washboard for Foreplay Long Time. Page is on upright bass. Like, I remember at Red Rocks in 96, in one of they did it all summer where they, all their equipment rolled out of the way and they wheeled a little mini stage out. And they sat down and did a bunch of acoustic songs. And that was Billy Breathe's time. So they sat down and did a bunch of the Billy Breathe songs quietly, sitting on stools. It was very, very cool. Yeah. And I remember Acoustic Army, where they walked out with, you know, the 4 stools and just played one song, you know, but all on acoustic guitars. They were really trying to find ways to break up, you know, what would be a monotonous two-set show and showcase a whole nother side of themselves as musicians and as human beings. And I thought this was such a welcome addition to such a great show.
Yeah.
It really was.
Keyboard Cavalry. Love it.
Yeah.
And I just think the idea to take this song, which is like the epitome of pop prog, like perfectly produced pop prog with layers upon layers of studio production and sheen, and they're like, yeah, let's just do like a goofy acoustic a cappella version of this song. I mean, just the conception in and of itself is genius, and then to have the execution be genius on top of it, double genius.
Yep.
So yeah, that's definitely a highlight. And
I'll never forget my connection to this song too, where, you know, Red Rocks and I were always really close. And, you know, my first show was there in 94. I saw the 295 summer shows. And then they didn't play there for a while. And I remember I had flew home both to visit my family, but also I had tickets for the Red Rocks 99 shows, which was 2 nights there. And they opened the first night with the only ever electric foreplay long time,
Great Woods.
Oh, I'm sorry. I meant Great Woods.
Yeah.
Which was just sick.
Oh, yeah.
And like people were freaking out for that too.
Yeah.
And I remember like hearing these acoustic ones on tapes and thinking, oh, you know, that was pretty cool. But now in retrospect, going back, I like this a lot.
Oh, yeah.
And the crowd was really on board, which I think helped. Like they were there for every note of it. It was cool.
Well, in all the old analog tapes we had of any acoustic foreplay long time, you couldn't even hear it. They were like you literally couldn't even hear it. And I think that's why when they played it electric at Great Woods, it was so exciting because we were like, we can actually hear them playing it, you know. So that was
I mean, anyone that wants to go listen to this show, and I'll be editing in clips of the audience recording. It's fine, but it's available on Soundboard out there if you want to sign up for Live Phish or you want to buy it or download song by song. Who cares? Go Just download this song. But it sounds fantastic, so seek it out. And it does move into the last of the headphones of the evening with Harry Hood, which, I mean, I probably will give it a slightly less glowing review than you, I guess.
Do it.
I still really, really enjoyed it. But this was the epitome of what we've talked about, which I think if I listened to this out of the context of this show, I would think it was kind of like a little disjointed, a little sloppy. The build keeps trying to hit and missing a little bit until it finally gets there. But in the context of the show, it's perfection because it is that almost falling off the track train the whole way through.
Right.
It gets down nice and quiet, and then as it builds, it just has a hard time finding its footing, or it's purposely not finding its footing to try to break into new avenues, which might be the case. I mean, it might be, like Trey keeps trying to like grab onto it, and the rest of the band's like, I don't know, maybe not yet, maybe not now.
Right.
It's very unique. What do you talk me through it?
Well, this is what I would say is that I would say, okay, so it kind of reminds me of 10/20/94, which we're going to get into at a later date. And then what is the date? And then it's 10/23 is the Alive One version, right?
I believe so. Yeah.
It's the 2 Florida versions. And the 2 Florida versions, I think, are very unique in that the one that ends up being on the live one, the Gainesville, is perfect. It's just like a flawless version. And then the one that's on 10/20 a few days earlier is this like the most improvisational version. Just 3 days earlier, where I believe you put it, where they're just finding all these nook and crannies and then just going down all these little caves and finding other parts. And I feel like this Hood kind of reminds me of that one, where it's kind of like, but it's not a precursor. It's like weird in my head for some reason. I imagine that it comes before that one, but it actually comes after. So I think knowing what they did in Gainesville, they were like perfectly capable of like doing this, nailed it, flawless Hood. And then I think they're kind of getting to this point now where they want to experiment a little bit and they want to go outside the box and they want to like see if they can take it out there a little bit. But I don't know. In terms of my experience with listening to this Harry Hood, maybe my edibles just kicked in at the right time. I don't know what it is, but I definitely had like, I was so in it, like where I was like watching a movie and I was just like, what's going to happen next? And then
you weren't sure. You weren't sure if it was going to completely fall apart.
But he really did nail that ending. And then when we just had the like huge peak at the end, it was just, it was so euphoric. that I thought it was just the perfect end to the show. So is it the best Hood that I've ever heard? No. Would I pick it out as the favorite Hood? No, probably not, but like you said, in the context of the show, in the style in which they were playing, this sort of tightrope walk kind of playing, I guess, it really worked. So
yeah, it's gonna be hard pressed to push the Hood or the Slave off of the live one, but that's okay. Those both might stay.
Right.
I don't know. I don't know. We may find out that they picked all the right things.
Wouldn't it be funny if they had done like like a beginner's version and then like a pro version of a live one, So you could go and like buy a live one and it would have the Gainesville version if you were just getting started with Phish. But if you were like super into Phish and you have been collecting for a long time, you could get the version with, with that's a little bit more experimental on 1020.
I always found those choices on that, in like that band put that tweezer on that.
Yeah, that should be a pro choice. And then you
but just that was such a bold move, and they were so proud of themselves for that performance. And
right.
Yeah. Well, minisode. We're gonna have to do a separate. We'll see. I don't know. We'll see how this fall '94 run here turns out, because this is just joy. So after the Hood, it hits Golgi, perfect closer.
Yeah.
Couldn't ask for anything more. Again, compositional through the middle, expertly played. Crowd is still, I mean, the show's tight. It's not long.
Yeah.
But you'd walk away the happiest person in the world. The energy never comes down from 11, and it just stays there. And it's so expertly managed by the band. And then the Sample in a Jar encore is, it's 94. And, this was Fishman, like through Trey's solo, I was listening to it going like, wow, this is really great. Looking forward to the solo. It hits the solo. The second half of Trey's solo, Fishman basically is doing a drum solo for the entire thing. And it almost drowns out Trey's solo because it's a nonstop drum solo for 64 bars. It's out of control. But he holds it together.
Phish slept during the daytime, I think, before this show. He was well rested.
Oof. Yeah. Hey, it was impressive. So touching on one other podcast briefly, that relates to this and to Fishman in particular, but I have been listening to the new Undermine season, which, everyone that listens to this, I'm sure, listens to that.
Yeah.
And it's been really fun because they're doing all these throwback 1.0 shows building up to, they're going to do an episode on every single fall 97 show on its anniversary. So a podcast that was they do like an 8 show or a 10 show season. They're planning on doing like a 40 show season. So they're all shorter.
Yeah.
It's lots and lots of shows. Sometimes it's like 4 a week. It's crazy.
Yeah.
So they're coming out in rapid succession, and they have a guest on every show, which it's a little bit of a joke because they had people on that weren't at some of the shows and they thought they were. But they had a guy on who was at 10/31/94.
Uh-huh.
Our last episode that we did, which he echoed a lot of our sentiments from that show. He talked about how there was points the band was just kind of trying to get through the White Album. and he complained about the the ending with Squirming Coil. He's like, guys, I've been here so long, I have to drive home. What are you doing to me? People were sleeping everywhere. Like his perspective was actually really cool.
That's very funny.
But he was like up near the front, like 5th row or something, and talked about seeing Fishman naked. And him and Tom Marshall have a little conversation about how people don't really talk about it much, but if you were up front at a lot of those early shows, you saw Fishman's nudity because he was naked under the dress.
Right.
So for me now, I'm like picturing they're playing this, indoor arena, and Fishman's just out there rocking, and everyone up front's like, oh God, no. I love it. The balls, literally and figuratively,
You just learn to look away.
Just turn yourself a different angle and just it's not there. Or maybe that's your thing. I don't know. But this was his show. The whole band was great, but Fishman really put a stamp on the end. It's really good.
No doubt.
Yeah. Go listen to this. Find it. Find a good copy and pay for it. It's worth it. And episode 25 next. We're going just 4 nights later.
Yeah.
11/16 in Michigan, and I'm excited. It's another one of those shows that I've only listened to parts of in a long time, so it's going to be really fun. And the sound quality is not ideal, but that's not going to slow me down. I'm excited.
I accidentally listened to a bit of this show just because I was washing dishes, and it just kept going after the stash. But it's awesome.
Yeah, I'm really pumped up. There's some highlights in that. This is supposed to be the simple, right?
This is the simple, but it's more like a tweezer. I've heard this before.
Yeah,
because it's in that style. So, big simple jams, but it's going to be fantastic. What about recommendations? Any new albums that have been coming out? Anything?
Well, I really am enjoying your mix you sent me, which
thank you.
It's different. Was the first song on it being the first cut is the deepest, just trying to say that the first track of your mix is the deepest cut?
No.
Because that's what I read. And I was like, is Ian doing this on purpose, or is this just a happy accident? Because I love this.
I put it first, not because of like the title of the song, but just because I love that intro of the song. Like just the do 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 do.
Yeah.
Like it's like I like a nice welcoming I don't know, entrance into the disc, and then it kind of like hits you hard. I thought about going Minnie Riperton LaFleur's to start it out. They were in competition, but then I just ended up going that way. But you're right. I do oftentimes overthink my order.
I liked it. I never think order anymore. I just smash them in there and hope for happy accidents. But I also I originally learned about this guy through Master of None, the beginning of season 2, when they're spending a couple days in Italy. Not the Bicycle Thief episode, but when they go to the wedding after that. Mm-hmm. And I love the soundtrack from that show. And I learned about this Italian artist, and having, owning and operating an Italian restaurant, it's really fun to have on there. And I listen to it all the time, and it's really dug under my skin. There's this guy, Giorgio Moroder.
Oh, sure.
And he was, Italian disco kind of king for a stretch. But if you go on Spotify and you go to him as an artist and you just listen to Giorgio Moroder radio, so it's all these other artists that Spotify's putting in that category, it is just such a good time.
Yeah.
Like, it's infectious for everybody. Like, my kids will even listen to it sometimes. But it's really great. It's if you want to like cheesy Italian disco, but also like deep grooves everywhere in that.
Guys, let me tell you something.
Check it out.
Giorgio Moroder is the producer of what I deem to be one of the top 10 most underrated albums of all time. Is this album a bestseller? Did it sell millions of copies? Yes. Is it still underrated? Yes, it's still underrated. And that album is Donna Summer Bad Girls. And if you don't know it by heart, get on it, because every song is a banger, and every song flows into it's just a work of art.
Yeah.
He
is a master,
almost
too.
Exclusively because of Giorgio Moroder, because of his production is just unbelievable. And he did a bunch of Donna Summer stuff. He was responsible for like tons of that disco production. He produced the Sparks album, Number One in Heaven, which is like one of my favorite albums by then. Yeah, Good shout, Sam. Good shout.
Yeah, Giorgio. Just check out it. Just get into his world and check out all his stuff.
Yeah.
We all, for you different than me, but as we enter this time of year, I get grumpy sometimes. It's getting cold, and that kind of stuff just keeps me going.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, there was a couple of Mark Maron WTF episodes recently that I really enjoyed. One with Adrian Belew, which I love Adrian Belew, and I loved him through Zappa and King Crimson and, and all the stuff that he's done, the Talking Heads. But just listening to him talk about what he did and what he was responsible, my Lord, we are not giving Adrian Belew enough credit. So that was a really great episode. And then also the Bella Fleck episode, since, he's in the Phish world. I also very much enjoyed Bella's episode on there. I guess he was a big fan and asked to come on the show and played with Mark Maron and had a little duet. But it was interesting listen to Bella talk about how he came up and how all that worked out. I, of course, was a little disappointed he didn't thank Phish for a good portion of his fame, but maybe that's just my perspective. But yeah, love me some Bella. And if you haven't seen the movie that he made about going to Africa, I highly recommend that documentary. It is called Bella Fleck, Throw Down My Heart. And it is an amazing, amazing music documentary.
Yeah.
All right. I guess that's all I got.
Talented man. Yeah, I mean, I just go on about all the awesome television that exists right now, but we'll keep it in music tonight.
Yeah.
Ian's solo dadding, so we're not going to keep him too long. I love the show. I'm excited for the next one. I don't want to leave Fall 94 now that we're here.
Yeah.
I felt that way about summer, and now I feel that way again. So maybe this will just keep going all the way through.
I think it will. We're just kind of hitting the best. So
yeah, it feels really good.
Well, that was super fun, Sam. I think that was a short one for us, but
maybe, you never know. I'll mix a ton of music in, and it'll be regular.
Chock full of great information, though. Don't let me set it
quick and fast. Quick and fast, and just wait for our official live one that we're going to put together. It's going to be something special.
Oh yeah, it is, Sam. All right, everyone, take care. Bye-bye.
All right, good night, everybody. Good night, Ian. Hello there, friends, and thank you for listening. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, or would like to reach out to Ian and I about anything at all, you can find us at companion2thecompanion@gmail.com.